Hey, good afternoon, everyone, or maybe good morning. Good morning, maybe to some folks. How's everybody doing today? Make sure there's sound. Yep. Recorder's running, so everything's looking pretty good here. Hey, I want to reach out and Ed, thank you again for inviting me back another day here. I appreciate it. Hey, Byron, how are you? How are you? Hey, good day. Having a good day in the market? Excellent day here. Evelyn, hope everything's going well for you. Good deal. Hey, today what I want to do is I want to talk about the rounded bottom breakout and how you can set it up on the scanner, and also a weekly rounded bottom breakout. That's probably the main thing I want to talk about today. Here, let me get this out of the way right here. Let's put this over here. I don't need it. And I'm going to bring this window over, and I'm going to make it stay on the top. There we go. That keeps it on the top. So I think most people here know, and if you don't know, then I'm going to share it with you. One of my favorite, in fact, it may be my all-time absolute favorite, it is the rounded bottom breakout. That has been such a successful strategy that I sure hate to let it go by the wayside. You know, I know sometimes, actually, I know a lot of times in trading, we're always looking for, the next hot little trick. And we just constantly go around in a circle doing this. And it's funny how when you go around your circle, that someday you come back, oh, hey, I remember a year ago, I traded the rounded bottom breakout strategy and I made so much money in it. Why did I ever stop doing it? Well, the reason you stop doing it is because maybe for one day, or maybe even, oh my goodness, a week, there just wasn't any that was producing in it. And so what we do, we chased the next shiny thing and we're off. And from there, we drop the old shiny thing, always in search for a new shiny thing. And sometimes we need to really think about that and go back to our shiny things that work. And the rounded bottom breakout, or we call it the RBB for short, that has been, without a doubt, one of the best money-making strategies that we've seen here at Hit Run Candlesticks. And Ed's done a great job of configuring these alerts to fit the rounded bottom breakout strategy, and many other alerts as well. And what I did is, if you take a look, and what brought this about is last week somebody asked me, well, do you ever trade weekly rounded bottom breakouts? And well, of course I do. I took a note of that, and I thought that would be a good topic today. Because, well, I trade 99% off the daily chart. Even if it's a weekly rounded bottom breakout, I'm going to trade the daily chart. The rounded bottom breakout, here, let's just go look at Delta here. Here's Delta coming up. And let's get rid of those lines. So the rounded bottom breakout, we're always looking for the 200 period moving average. And I will, for those that don't know, I'll explain this strategy in just a moment. But what we're always looking for is price to move toward the 200 period moving average, and that's that red line right there. So knowing that we've crossed over the 50 period moving average and we're headed for that 200, I'm going to go to the daily chart, and that's what I'm going to look to trade. Now, in this here, I do not have set up a daily trap. I didn't set it up because that will thin things down a little bit. If I started monkeying around with this morning, we wouldn't have as many through here. So I chose not to fool with it. And this just simply shows weekly rounded bottom breakouts. But what I would really like, for the chart setup, I would love that rounded bottom breakout, And then on the daily chart, we're going to look for my favorite entry strategy, which is the 3/8 trap. So a weekly rounded bottom breakout, a daily 3/8 trap. And all this can be done with the scanner. And it's pretty cool. It really, really is. It takes all the work out of it. So let's go to the, I want to explain what the rounded bottom breakout is, just in case somebody here doesn't know. And we're going to use the weekly chart as the example. One thing we want is we absolutely want a downtrend. And what dictates the downtrend is we want the T-line, the 20 simple, 34 simple, to be below the 50 period moving average. Now, any one of those is going to be below the 50. If you get one of them like this, they're all going to be there. So what we're looking for is this 50 to be under the 200, price to be trending down, and then put some sort of a bottom in. And I mean, there's other strategies we can get to trade these bottoms, or, you know, breakouts, things like that. We can get a weekly pinball setup if you want to trade all that. But we're looking for the rounded bottom breakout. And as we start moving up here, when we cross that 50 period moving average, that's when it starts alerting on this alert. That's the key. And there has to be 10% between here and the between price and the 200 period moving average. So that 10%, that's important. Okay, let me figure out what I'm doing here. There we go. Nope. Try that again. There we are. 10%. That's important, because if you don't have that 10%, then I just don't think it's worth the trade. I really don't. If I can come in here and I see a possible 10%, that's what I'm after. Now, if we don't have the 10%, sometimes I'll take that trade because we're looking at options. But if you look at Delta here, look at that price and look at the 200. There's 14.5%, so it definitely qualifies. Now, what we're looking for, but I know somebody's already thinking, and rightly so, really, we're still in a downtrend, aren't we? We are in a downtrend right here, but then again, we are in an uptrend right here. Now, I'm not opposed to trading downtrends. I'm not opposed to that at all, as long as I see a path to profits. And the rounded bottom breakout, as long as I see bullish candles in there, I see a path to the 200 period moving average for profit. Okay? So let's go back and put that line in there. Let's go back to the daily chart, because this is where I'm going to trade it. So here we have what I think is a perfect chart setup. Lows, highs, all the way through there. Low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high. You can see the channel. You can see how that's just channeling like that. We'll put another one. Look at that channel up there. And that's our 200 period moving average. So as I see this, a trade somewhere in this area for an entry up there to that $49 mark, about 15.5%. So again, the rounded bottom breakout, it's the reason. First, it actually came from the pinball setup, okay? And the reason the pinball setup was created because years ago, I didn't have a complete understanding of what was going on in a chart. And most people, when they first start out, they don't know that either. They think they do, but they don't. And then what happened is I discovered I could make money going from one moving average to another moving average in a big oversold condition. And I'm not looking at stochastics or anything for oversold other than the chart being in a downtrend. But I figured out I could make money doing that. And it was really just a relief rally because we're still in a downtrend. All right. So if we're looking at let's even look at another one. Let's look at SIG. And I've not looked at these. They're coming up the way they are. So here's the daily chart. Let's go to the weekly chart. There you go. There's our weekly RBB setup. So anyway, you see how we get back over that 50 period moving average? That's the direction that we're looking for profits. There's no guarantee it gets up here to the 200. No guarantee at all. But what it does is it's a revision to the mean type trade. It's a magnet to major moving averages. And whether or not SIG here can break out of the 200 and get its mojo back, because right now its mojo is in a downtrend. It's big mojo. Its little mojo is in an uptrend. Who cares if it goes up here? We're looking for this trade right in here. That's all we're looking for. And this is a 26% trade. That doesn't, visually, that doesn't look like very much, does it? It really does not. And I have blown through, not looking at those charts in the past so many times, when if you just take the time and do the math on it, that's a ton of money. So there's a high probability that price runs back to that 200 because it acts as a magnet. And again, just a revision to that mean. So what we're going to do is we're going to put that line right there. That just tells us where the weekly 200 is. Well, that would make a nice target right in there. Terrific target on that. So the nice thing about the scanner is it pulls them up without doing any work whatsoever. And they alert you when they're moving higher. Now, again, this is just, well, here, I'll show you. This is just, that's all. It's just a raw rounded bottom breakout RBB setup. And nothing, no other, no other scan in there or anything. I thought about this morning, like I said, adding to this the 3/8 trap on the daily. So what I would do would be go in there and bring up the 3/8 trap. But over here, instead of the weekly, I would mark that daily. So what would be happening is I'm getting a weekly rounded bottom breakout and a daily 3/8 trap, and we would be looking for a target in the direction of the weekly 200 period moving average. And you can pound through charts. You can do all that if you want. If you have all the time in the world and you dig that sort of thing, go ahead. This right here does it. I mean, this just rocks. So it's really cool to sit here and to be able to talk in here, answer questions in here, and be able to say, well, PBCT is doing just what we want it to do. There we go. This is a daily chart. Look at that daily chart. And here is the weekly chart. There we go. That's a nice RBB because I like them when they're just consolidating like this on the weekly chart. Look at the possibility here. 21% up to that 200. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm going to sit here and hold off. And if the chart moves up, the chart moves up here, doesn't mean I'm going to say, well, I'm not going to sell this until it gets to 200. No, I'm not going to do that at all. But it does give me that path. It gives me that visual path to the 200 period moving average. If you studied any charts at all over time, you'll know that price loves to go to the 200 period moving average, whether it's from the bottom up or from the top down. That's also true with the 50 period moving average, whether it's from the bottom up or whether it's from the top down. And the reason being, that's where a lot of the big boy traders hang around. They like those areas. They like those areas a lot. All right, sorry, I just noticed a couple questions here. That is, let's see. Thank you, Don. Appreciate it on that Kura there. Appreciate it. Lee's asking, that is exactly what I wanted to ask Rick. What is the chart setup for the pinball setup? The pinball setup, there's a scan there. I don't have it up. But basically, what the pinball setup is this right here. Let's let's add the 34 EMA in there. There we go. So what the pinball setup is going from a downtrend from below the T-line to a close above the T-line, and we're looking for that 10% to the 34, like that. See, it's the exact same setup as the rounded bottom breakout, except it's knocked down a little bit. We're looking for the price to go from above to the T-line to the 34. Now, that's what I learned years ago. I think nowadays when I do that, I actually bypass the 34 often, and I'll look for that 50-period moving average in there. So it's the same type of trade. So if this is the trade here, well, this would be the trade there, just like that. And by the way, Lee, one thing I never do, never do, is if I buy a pinball setup and this is the target area, that's the target, I close the trade. Same thing with the rounded bottom breakout. If I buy here and this is the target area, I close the trade out. If for some reason I think that the chart can go higher, so what? I get out. I trade my trade. Now, if it does break out and set up, I will consider a buy again. But if I start with a strategy, I'm going to end with that strategy. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm not going to start a strategy and then be greedy and change it going forward. I'll close it and then perhaps get back in. Okay? So let's go look at this rig. Let's go take a look at rig. See it popped up? And see how it's starting to cross over that 50-period moving average? See, that's a nice looking trade to me. So this is where I might put this on the watch list. And if it closed reasonably well today, I could see that as a buy. Or maybe wait for it to actually get up there and sit down and rest on it. Let's go take a look at the daily chart. Look at that daily chart. Now, they don't always look like that. This one so happens to be a 3/8 trap. That's why I said when we're finished here today, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to do that. I'm going to change. I'm going to change this. You know what I could do? Let's do this. Let's just see if this works. So I'm going to duplicate this. For those that didn't know you could do that, you can duplicate it. And let's bring this over here. And I'm going to make this stay on top. And I'm going to go into the properties. And I'm going to do that. So let's type trap. That way I'm not messing with the other one. I guess I should have done this. Now, I like trap in prior candle. I kind of like that. So I'm going to do that one. And you know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to do trap in current candle. And I'm going to show you something. So kill two birds with one stone here. Trap this candle right there. But now we have to put an OR up here. See under OR. And we're going to click that. You have to have two check marks. So I'm looking at a trap in prior candle or trap the current candle. We have 9 possibilities, not very many. That's why I didn't want to change this. So we'll leave that. I'm going to click OK. There we go. We'll let this perk and we'll see what happens to it. I'm going to make it look a little prettier than the way it is now. Just give me a sec here. There we go. We're getting there. There we are. Okay, so, oh, well, here comes C. And see, C on the weekly chart is showing up. And this is also the weekly. But this is the weekly with the daily as well, okay? So we're going to go to C. Take a look at C. And let's start with the weekly chart. There's our rounded bottom breakout right there. This would be the 200 period moving average. Let's go to the daily. There's our target, and there's our trap. I like this idea. I like this a lot. I like this a whole lot. Oh, one thing I didn't point out, I was in kind of a hurry, I guess. See how that's set to daily? And we're going to set this one. See how that's set to daily? This was asked of me the other day, too. Can you have multiple time frames here? Absolutely you can. Absolutely you can. All right, let's go look at, I'm looking for one to buy. So let's look at EPD. Here's the daily chart. Up a little too high for me, but we've got a new breakout. Let's go look at the weekly. Oh, but you got to love the weekly. Oh my goodness. Huh. I'm going to write this one down. Before the end of our session here, I really want to buy one. But because we just fired this up, I think I'm going to give it a few minutes. Normally, I don't chase for what I might think is the best stock. But we just fired it up, so I'm going to be a little patient. C looks good, so we'll take a look at that one as well. All right, from there, are there any questions? Does anyone have any questions on this? Well, Matt, it may be, but if it doesn't show up here, I'm not going to do anything with it, okay? So, looks like a great chart, but here's the weekly. Oh, and the weekly, we don't have 10% there. We don't have 10%. So my strategy, I'm going to stick with my strategy. I'm not going to go off reservation here. And the reason I'm not, this rounded bottom breakout strategy has put more money in my pocket than any other strategy over the years. It's also the strategy, the pinball strategy is what finally pushed me into trading for a living and quitting my job. I really didn't make any money until I figured out the pinball strategy or the rounded bottom breakout. I mean, I made do, I paid the bills, things like that. But I really didn't have any much extra until the rounded bottom breakout came along. And then my lifestyle changed. It was huge as the way it changed. So much different to have, a little extra cash. And so because of that reason, I'm going to stay with that strategy. I love let's see, what was it? FAS daily. I think the daily chart looks really good, but it's got that weekly 200 period moving average right there. And I just don't know if I want to trade that. Okay. So let's see. What's the indicator with the green-orange dots? Oh, the green-red dots. That's this one right here. This is called the Trendicator, JT. It's called the Trendicator. Do you have TC2000 by any chance? Yeah, do you use TC2000? No. Well, you should get TC2000. Actually, I think there is a code. I think there is a code to set this up on Thinkorswim. If somebody has the code, please post it out there for JT. But what this is, mine is nothing more than the 17 exponential moving average. And what I like to see is a trend like this. I want to see my 3, my 8, and my Trendicator trending. I want price to be above the Trendicator, and I want the Trendicator be green. It's not very often, in fact, it's pretty doggone rare, that I buy a chart long when those dots are red. I don't care what candle pattern is down here. Now I'm gonna leave me an ounce of room. An ounce of room. There are those rare times that I might, but you'll never find me buying when those dots are red, because that means we're in a downtrend. When they turn green, that's what I'm looking for, and I'm looking for that up and that consolidation, and that's where I'll start to look for an entry there. Okay. Let's see here. Richard, would you re-show the settings on LTA? Sure, absolutely. So here, I'll do this one because it has both of them. You can just eliminate it if you want. Right there. Take a picture of it or write it down real fast. Don't try to copy it, please. So it's rounded bottom breakout, parentheses, RBB, user-defined trap in prior candle, user-defined trap in this candle. You have to put the 2 check marks here because it's or. It's this or this. And then over here, I've got the weekly marked, and then on these, I've got the daily marked on both of these. Okay? And that's it. Let's see, Lee is asking, so the pinball and the 3/8 trap with the 3/8 with the 34 EMA, how do I set it up on the chart? Just put the 3 or 34 on the chart, Lee. It's not. And again, we're not talking about the pinball setup right here, okay? We'll get a little too stretched out. We're going to stick with the rounded bottom breakout today. But all the pinball setup is a trade to the 34 EMA. That's it. Above the T-line. So between the T-line to the 34. But we can talk about it in the other room, all right? I'll be glad to. Absolutely glad to. Let's see, Ajax, do you... Wow. Hold on here. I lost it. Oh, okay, here we are. Do you think that swing trade is better than day trading? You know, Ajax, that's kind of an opinion. I don't know that there's a fact can be given there. Wouldn't you agree to that? Wouldn't you agree that those that swing trade would probably say yes, and those that day trade would probably say day trading is better? All right. So I can give you my opinion, and I'm going to say yes, I think swing trading is better. I think people lose way too much money in day trading. 2 reasons. 1, they don't know what the hell they're doing, and 2, they don't have enough money to day trade. Yes, Doll, this is being recorded. Wayne, the T-line is the 8. Wayne, it's the 8 exponential moving average, EMA, 8 EMA. And so next question is, what is your sell target after the RBB? Now, you didn't quite get what I said there now, did you? There is no sell target after the RBB. Where am I here? There I am. Okay? There is no sell target because you've sold. Darn it, Rick. There we go. So here's the RBB setup. The strategy is, the strategy is not, well, what if it breaks out? The strategy is not anything other than, it's from the 50 to the 200, period. Period. Yeah, I close it out. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. If it gets there, I'm out. Period. Okay? So, if it does break out, then that becomes a whole different strategy, and that's a whole different conversation. It has nothing to do with a rounded bottom breakout. Okay? Dr. Call, how you doing? Hope it works. Trendicator modified by dash line. Modified by... I have no idea what you're doing there, Dr. Call. That must be Thinkorswim, I guess. That's what you're doing. Okay, that's what you're doing. I see now. Thank you very much. Thanks. All right, let's go. I seriously want to buy something here. So let's look at EPD. Well, we already looked at that one. That was pretty nice, wasn't it? See, there's the weekly, daily. I'm going to keep looking here. Let's look at Fox A. You know, and that's another thing that's so nice about the scanner is it only you're not constantly having to flip through charts. You can sit here and they just show up for you. They just absolutely show up for you. Anyway, it's one of the things like Fox A looks nice here. OKE, I'm going to go look at that. I like that OKE on the weekly. I could like that on the daily too with a stop. Doesn't have to be a 3/8 trap to buy. Boy, I sure like that weekly chart. Huh. Gonna have to keep that one in mind. OKE. All right. Any other questions? Any questions on this? Must it always be below the 50? It must, yes. It must always come from below the 50 and then close over the 50. Yes. The rounded bottom breakout, let me get rid of all that. The rounded bottom breakout is a strategy where price has been in a downtrend. Very clear downtrend, okay? And this has. We want price, something kept bothering me and that was it. Let me get rid of this. There we go. Price has to be below the 50 period moving average. Okay, so here's price. We're below the 50. Price below the 50. Price below the 50. Also, the 50 period moving average has to be below the 200 period moving average. And then what we're looking for is, and we don't care what it does down here. We like to see a chart pattern we could make an argument for. For instance, how about that nice rounded bottom breakout? I could make an argument for that. I could make an argument for the low to the higher low, and now we have a big higher high. I like that. So what we're going to look for is that entry above the 200, but below the 200, above the 50 period moving average, but below the 200 period moving average. And we need at least 10% between price and the 200, okay? Price and the 200. And that's the rounded bottom breakout. This is a strategy that I think everybody needs in their toolbox. I do. I think this is, to me, this is one of the best strategies out there. So BB, I like the 30-minute time frame chart. How do you use the 30-minute time trade on your swing trading? Well, I would use it exactly the same way I do a daily chart. Nothing changes. Nothing changes. So can you be a little more specific? Because I think I just answered your question. How do you use it? It's just candles. It's the same. All it is a shorter time frame, just shorter time frame. Okay, BB. Now, if you have another question on it, okay, here you go. Do you use to set your scans? I have a couple scans with the 3-bar chart. Yes, I don't make that a diet though. I don't make that a diet. I mostly use daily, and I'm using the weekly RBB, but what I'm after is a daily entry. I love the 3-bar chart. Don't get me wrong, okay? And you know it. If you've been in the room, you know how much I've talked about it. But for scanning, you know, a person can only have so much. You can only have so much out there. I have chosen to, for the most part, when it comes to scanning, I stick with daily. But if you are focused on a 3-bar chart, man, I'm all for that. Then what you do, everything is all the same. You're just setting it up on a 3-bar chart. That's all. That is all. If you wanted to set up say a rounded bottom breakout, just come up here and change this. Change this to right there, 130 minute. And now you have a rounded bottom breakout on the 3-bar chart. Let's see, Don C. How does the RBB work during the overall market downtrend? Don C., you know, there's I think it works great. All right. It I have never seen a market that you're not getting some rounded bottom breakout setups, and all a rounded bottom breakout setup is a relief rally. That's all it is. I mean, I don't care how you slice this pie. This chart's still in a downtrend, and in my mind, it's in a downtrend until it gets over that 200 period moving average. So the question you have got to ask yourself: are you willing to take a 30% relief rally trade? Okay. So to your question, you're chasing. Well, does it work good in this? What environment does it work in? It works in all environments. All environments. You're simply looking for a trade that's been in a downtrend, beat up, coming back up to the 200 period moving average, and we're just saying that your probabilities are much greater success rate if we wait till it gets over that 50 period moving average. And then what Ed has done has created an alert on the scanner to do that. Let's John. Would you review the setup of the dotted deuce? Do you have TC2000, John? All right, great. I'm going to show it to you. Write it down on pencil and paper. Don't try to copy it because I'm not going to leave it up that fast, that long. There you go. 200 period, 200. Average type, it's front weighted, and it's the average of the low. So fill in the boxes. 200, front weighted, low. Thanks. And sorry, some of these things I'm keeping short because we can answer this stuff in much more detail when we have all day in the trading room, okay? And today is focused on the rounded bottom breakout in the scanner. Let's see. Why the 3-bar chart? Why the 5-minute chart? Why the 15-minute chart? Why the daily chart? It's, choose one. Ajax, I would not leave here loading up the 3-bar chart for any good reason. I would try it out first. And all you're doing is you're taking a daily chart and you're breaking the candle down into 3 bars. So for instance, this is Friday's close right here. This is today's open right here, or today's first bar right here on this OKE. There's the second bar. Let's see what the third bar does. If the third bar was to do this, close up like that, I would have to be pretty darn bullish on this. If the third bar was to close down, I might want to wait a minute. So it's just another time frame, that's all. And all it does is it breaks down the daily candle into 3 pieces. All right. Jim, V-stop settings are, I always forget. It's V-stop. There we go. 10-1-5, 10-1-5, 10-1-5, 150, I guess. All righty. Let's see. See, Don, I'm not sure. Yes, every day. I'm not sure what that means. Sorry. Hey, I want to go check something out here. Solo is trying to pop up. We might want to keep... There we go. We might want to keep our eyes on Solo. See, that's another thing about the scanner. You can pick this stuff out of thin air like this. You don't have to be... you don't have to be chasing things around. You don't have to be looking at a ton of charts. They just pop up. That's a nice chart. There's a chance that I buy some solo today at near the close of the day. So what I'll do there is if solo closes over the T-line like this today, I'm likely to buy it. If it closes under the T-line, I'm not likely to buy it, okay? Let's see. Yes. All right. Matt, what's after the... Yes, Matt, it is. It's just a different trade is all. Sure. Well, here, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's take a look at, let's look at OI, okay? And let's go to, where's it at? RBB chart. And let's go to the weekly, okay? See that weekly chart? That's an RBB, right? Here's the daily chart. Look, there's the 200 right there. Look at the daily. This was a rounded bottom breakout on the daily, and look how it's still up. Yes, it's still worthy. I'm just saying that to me, you've got to have specific strategy. You want to be successful at trading. One of the keys is to know precisely what you're doing. Precisely. Not, well, what if? What if doesn't get it? Still worthy? Question mark? That doesn't get it. That is not precise. Here's precise. Precise is I'm looking for a strategy, and I'm going to look at the weekly. That's what we're looking at. There's the weekly strategy. The weekly strategy is to go from this area to the 200 up here. That's the goal. Now, if it doesn't make it there, I'm okay with that. If all it does was this, I'd be tickled pink. And I'll bet you $100 you would too. And we're going to take our money. Now let's go look at it on the daily. There's the daily. There you go. We're well above the 200. Everything is fine. Everything works good. Yes, still worthy. By the way, note right here, that was rounded bottom breakout. You see right here, this was a rounded bottom breakout, but failed. This was a rounded bottom breakout, but failed. Not all strategies work out. All we're looking for on the weekly side is that rounded bottom breakout strategy. That's all. After that, we're going to go to that daily, and that's what we're going to trade. That solo just popped up again. It's starting to make me think I might want it, but I'm going to be patient. Let me go find something over here. I don't know how many of you with the scanner have done this. Whoops. Where'd it go? Oh. You know what? I don't know how to... There we go. Now I got it. I don't know how many of you have done this, but you can make sectors and put them in a window like this, like electric cars. I've just got a few tickers in here for electric cars. All right. And I'm interested in solo, but I don't see any big activity in here. Now, Blink was very active this morning. Obviously, Tesla was a little active, but I don't see a ton of activity. So I'm going to be a little patient. Again, I'll probably wait to the end of the day. But if I was to see electric cars take off, then I'm likely to jump over and buy that one right now. But I'm going to have to wait. Just going to have to wait. Let's see. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it. Thanks, BB. Yeah, we know it. Yes, it is. It's above the T-line. Yes. Let's see. How do you identify chop, and should you stay out of it? Hey, Jax, how long you been trading? Just a little question here. Then I have another little one. 9 years. Are you successful? I mean, you trade for a living, yeah? Okay, maybe you could tell us then. Maybe you could tell us. How do you identify chop and stay out of it? Why don't you give it a go? Give it a shot. Give it a shot. Hey, Phil, BHC is also breaking out on the scanner, but not an RBB. Yeah, that's not an RBB setup. Weekly chart, yeah, that's not. But yes, it is breaking out. Yes, it is. Hey, I just see IAG here. IAG is moving. That one's moving up. Let's go to the weekly. There's the weekly. Look at that RBB setup. Anybody like that idea of that trade right there? Now, I'm not going to take it. That looks like a fairly decent trade right in there. Makes me want to go look at other trades, but I'm already in AG, and I bought SLV earlier this morning. So I've got enough of the metals. I'm happy with that. So yeah, you're right, Ajax. That could be chop in the market. When I see a chart do that, that's money to me. Yeah, that's absolute money to me. See, I knew you knew the answer to that. I knew. Man, smart fella, aren't I? I knew it. All right. What else do we have here? What else do we have here? Anyone have any questions about the rounded bottom breakout or the scanner? Or the scanner? Here is AMC. This is coming up on the daily rounded bottom breakout. Right there. AMC. Boy, I sure did want to buy something, and so far I haven't found anything worthy that I really, really want. Roku might be setting up. I think Roku is in that buy area right now. Oh, there goes Solo. You know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm going to buy some Solo. So we're going to take a look at the March contracts. And, wow. I'm going to buy the $7.50 strike. Just place the order. We'll let it kind of perk here, see what happens. Let's see here. Walter, GE. I think GE is a weekly rounded bottom breakout. Yes, it is. Look at that GE, rounded bottom breakout. Beautiful. Now, I think we can safely say, here's some price action here that we're going to go to. And look, it's right there at that 200 period moving average. We've also been up a few weeks here, so a little consolidation could be in the cards. But right now, I would look at about that $13 as a target area. May chop around just a tiny bit. But that's what I see on GE. Let's see, Matt, RB is a nice advantage in not having to wait for a breakout. Yeah, but you want to make sure that there's you want to make sure it's a good chart setup. Okay, you don't want to be buying just because it's a RBB. Hello, Dave. Yes, this is absolutely being recorded. You bet. Matt, I'm not sure what you mean, pricey booger. Look at Solo. 3-bar chart. Yeah, that's pretty. That's a pretty three-bar chart. Look at, I mean, the chart setup is gorgeous. Look at the first bar this morning. Very nice. And what do? We're getting follow through, right? Matt, I assume you mean on Solo. Okay. Well, what's pricey to you? I don't know what you mean by pricey. I don't know what you mean by pricey, honestly. Would have to disagree with that. But see, that's the difference between two different traders. One trader likes baggy clothes. One trader likes tight clothes. It's okay. All right. And that's your choice. That's your choice, Matt. That is absolutely your choice. Here's what I'm going to do, okay? The Road to Wealth account is up 123% in about 3.5 months. I think I'll keep doing what I'm doing. Yeah. I think I'll keep doing what I'm doing. It works. But see, you could be your account can be up the same amount. And you could be doing something completely opposite, and that's okay. That's okay. There's thousands of ways out there to trade the market. As long as yours is working, that's a good one. It's when it's not working that you have to make a few changes maybe. But as long as that one is working. Hey, that Solo order filled. That Solo order filled. Let's see here. Yeah, if it's not working, don't change it. I hear that. Hey, I want to go take a look at fun. We're going to go look at fun. Then we're going to go take a look at PBA. So here's the daily chart. We've got a hammer cruising here. Kind of a shooting star. Can't say it's my favorite daily chart. Let's go look at that weekly chart. I think it's a pretty darn good looking weekly chart. I'm going to put that up there. Also, one thing we didn't talk about was the dotted deuce here. That I use that a lot in the rounded bottom breakout. That's a profit area. So there's 15%. I would be absolutely tickle pink with that. That's what we look like on the daily chart. So this has some high possibilities, but I would like to see a better daily chart. So let's see how today finishes. And this might even be a trade over 39.80, over this area here. And that would still give us plenty money, plenty money. So with Solo, we're going to have to make sure a few things are accomplished, like above 830. We need to get above 830. and that is going to have to be a must. And you've kind of created this little downhill, these little areas that we're going to have to get over. So we're going to have to get over that. And then outside of that, you know, what are you talking about? Even if you reach the top, would 70% be enough for you? So let's just think about that. What if we just went to $9? That's all. That's 20%. Would that be enough for you? And by the way, you know that the way I take profits, it's based on me doubling my account every 12 months. That's my goal, to double the account every 12 months. So to double my account every 12 months, just do the math. There's 243 days in a year to trade, in my opinion. Yeah, there is. Yours might be slightly different. But if you just do the math, you'll figure out how much money you need to double your account in 12 months. That's what I trade for. So what I'm going to do is when I start reaching a couple personal financial goals on that trade, I'm going to be taking my money off the table like that. And that's how I profit. Profit into strength. Profit into strength. Yes, Wayne, I do trade options. I trade directional options. Directional, which means I'm doing the same thing as stock trading, except I'm using options to leverage my money. That's all I'm doing with options. Nothing else. And I assure you, nothing else. Nothing. And I'm only saying that because there's about 9 questions everyone's starting to type. I just I just know this. Let's see. How important are the bar closes in your trading? Well, I try to always leave the bar before it closes. You just get a bad rap if they have to turn the lights on and say last call. So I try to leave before the bar actually closes. That was my attempt at being funny there, Ajax. The bar closes are very important to my trading because they tell me what the attitude is of the price action. So very, very important. Many times, and I said that in the beginning with this solo, but it just keeps inching up. So I don't want to wait. But what I will do often is I'll see a chart like this and say, okay, well, I'm going to wait till the end of the day because I want to see how that bar actually finishes. So, that last 30 minutes, last 45 minutes of a day, something like that. That's when I'll come in to buy it. But what I don't want to happen is this right here. And that's why I went ahead and bought it. I don't want to say, well, I'll wait to the end of the day, 30 minutes from now, an hour from now, hour and a half from now. I'm obviously not going to buy it at the end of the day like that. So I just decided to go ahead and buy it. Because the flip side to that is if it closes below the T-line, or rather, here I better do that actually. If it closes, yeah, I'm going to use right here. So if it closes below 703-ish, then I have a choice to get out and not stay in it. Okay? So that's why I went ahead and bought it. I didn't want to miss out. Ajax, yeah, mostly around 70 delta, so in the money. How far out? Wayne, almost always 50 days plus. Here last week, I think I took a couple 46 days, something like that, but generally 50 days plus. Do you close your options after certain percentage gain? Matt, let's rephrase your question just slightly, okay? And I want to reiterate again. The only thing I use options for is to leverage my money. So your question, do you close your options after a certain percentage gain? No, it never comes into the equation. It has nothing to do with options. Okay? Now, let's ask the question this way. Do I close my position into strength based on the chart? Yes, I do. But it has absolutely nothing to do with the option. Absolutely nothing. It was $7.50, Richard. Okay? And Matt, they'll ask me that question again, and they'll ask that same question 42 different ways. And I cannot seem to get my point across, okay? And I'm not picking on you. I just want to make sure that everybody understands this. The only thing I use options for is to leverage my money. That's it. I bought Apple this morning. Okay? Now, I need to back up just slightly. I started a new Road to Wealth account 3.5 months ago. The account, we opened the new account with $10,000. Let me make that a little bigger, smaller. There we go. $10,000. Okay? Today, right here at this moment, let me refresh the screen here. It's worth $23,294. $294. There we go. 3.5 months. Okay? Now, if you have $10,000 in your account, the odds are you cannot buy Apple. But because I can leverage my money with options, I can buy Apple. Okay? I can buy Apple. So it affords me the benefit of going to some of these charts like Apple or even a Tesla. Some of these more expensive charts if I need to. It's leveraging your money. Let's see here. Do you close your options manually? Yes. 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 That's correct, Matt. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Leverage is a beautiful thing. And yeah, that's all I can say. You are right. It is. It's about the sexiest damn thing you can think about. I mean, it is cool. It is cool. And when you understand a chart, when you understand how to read a chart, when you understand a couple of strategies, when you understand chart patterns, then you've got magic in your fingers. Chart first, yes, totally agree. Chart first. But you've got absolute magic in your fingers. And it's just insane. It's great. I need to go look at ADT. That was one on our watch list here. ADT might be setting up. Now, this is, it's just a chart that's pulled back to the 200 and the 50 period moving average. This was on our watch list today. I kind of like the way it's acting right now. Okay, let's, what else have we got? Yeah, I bought that SLV. Thank you, Phil. I bought SLV today, earlier this morning, and that went out on the alerts. So, by the way, if you're a member here, if you're a member of Hit Run Candlesticks or a trial member, you should have received an alert on your smartphone when I bought it. What I bought it, what I paid for it, the whole 9 yards. And, well, if you're not, we can help you get that set up. I can't do that in here because we can't pair it to this room. But in the Hit Run room, be glad to help you pair it and get it going here. So let's see, Matt. Possible to assume KHC. KHC looks good too. I don't like it for a buy, but I like the chart. So, man, it pulls back into here. I think that's got some good possibility. Let's go over here. There we go. I think it's got a definite possibility for a buy and more up move. Overall, I think it's a gorgeous chart. Let's see, JT. So this account you mentioned from 10K, etc. Are you trading stocks, options? Options, just like we're talking about right now, finding exactly, JT. That's all I do anymore. That's all I do. I did the same thing starting in January 2018. I closed, and I started that account with $5,000, and I closed that account out in July, and I closed, and it had reached a high of $78,000. So in a little shy of 30 months, $78,000 at the height. Just by simply following charts, all you need is a little understanding of price action, the trend, some common sense. That's a big one, common sense, and yeah, that's all it is. Look, I'm as dumb as a rock, and man, I can make it work. NIO, if it closes over the T-line, yeah. This is my plan for NIO, and my plan is to buy it up into this area right here. So we have a belt hold. So far it's done exactly what I thought it would do, and I'm not buying it here, but over here I would definitely consider that. I'm going to have to see how the price action is up into this area, but that's my plan right there. In a perfect world, actually what I would like to see is this. I would like to see price pop up, and then I would like to see it rest. And then that's where I would like to see a buy. So the truth is, not today, not tomorrow, not the next day, but maybe 3-4 days from now, this might be a buy. Of course, I don't know what price action is going to do. Gee, creepers. By the end of the day, we could do this right there. But that's my idea right now. Do you think it's feasible to day trade options? I suppose so. I don't see why not, actually. All you're doing is leveraging money. Yeah, I don't do it. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I'm in a position and it jams up in one day, I mean, like, say I was to buy NIO today, and I buy it in here, and by the end of the day it's up here, I'm very likely to take it off. That would be considered a day trade. But just so everyone knows and clears, I'm not a day trader. I'm a swing trader. And actually, I think about 99% of people that think they're going to day trade end up losing their money. So now you know how I feel about day trading. Anyone else not see the alert on SLV? Really? That's what you're going for here, huh? Then they're working for you, Jason. They're working for you. All right, what else do we have here? VIAC. VIAC. Up, consolidating. Very nice on the daily chart. Let's take a look at that. Well, let's go over here. Now let's look at the weekly chart. And there's your rounded bottom breakout. NBR. Rounded bottom breakout. Let's go look at the daily. Darn. I guess we can look at that right there as the breakout. Actually, I like that a lot. So let's move this down. This is going to be the buy box for me right there. I'm going to go back to that weekly, look at something. We're going to move this up to here. Move that up to there. That's what I'm going to look for profit targets on NBR. So I'm going to look for a buy on this on an inside day tomorrow, I think. Okay. Could you look at some low price? I can. You have a couple, P-Man? I don't know of a couple. You know, I don't have any handy right away or anything like that. But if you have a couple, we'll sure look at them. CGC might be getting ready to move up a little bit higher. CPE, doji continuation pattern based on that. Looks like a buy to me with a stop just below today's doji. What was that one? JNPR. There we are. If it breaks out, I think you've got a pretty nice move in it. Maybe, fill that gap up to 24.60 there, Jason. You're going to have to watch this for that breakout, though. You're going to need that. Weekly chart, you're still underneath that 50-period moving average. Out of all the charts out there to trade, I just wonder if we can't find a little bit better one. Just a tiny bit better. Alrighty. P-Man, do you have anything? One last chance that you want to look at. You say lower price stocks. Did I look at CP? Then we're going to call it a day here. Yeah, we looked at that. Geo. Rounded bottom breakout on the daily chart. First target around $11. Look how that matches up with price action. That's why I use that dotted deuce. Next target up is around that 200 period moving average. Look how it matches up with that price action. It's a nice, that's a nice daily rounded bottom breakout. I like that. Alrighty, folks, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get out of here. Apps. I'd probably be a breakout trader on apps, but not interested now. But that's just me. Okay, Bob? That's just me. I say I'm probably more of a breakout trader on it. So put that, I'm going to use that for a downtrend line. Over that, then I would get a little interested maybe. So up, consolidate, and I think I would be a little interested in that. Yeah, just for, I mean, here for those that were asking, about well, those that are here, thank you for being here, but those that were asking about options, I'm not trying to talk anyone into options at all. I trade 30 years and never traded an option in my life. That's crazy. Now you couldn't pull it from my dead hands. Absolutely not. Simple directional options, but here's solo. Here's what I do. Where is it? I only bought 5 contracts. That's all, 5, and I'm currently up $325. You guys all know when we bought it, right? And it was coming up not on these alerts. It was coming up on a couple of my other ones because I've been following the electric car group, and solo is one of those. So anyway, took a chance on it. Up $300 now, so happy camper. Now it just needs to keep that up. All right, guys, I'm going to check out of here. Thank you very much for having me up here today. Ed, thank you so very much for having me here. I know that Ed has a 14-day trial on the scanner. If anybody is interested in that, it's free. I don't even think he asked for a credit card. It's like you get it for free, no strings attached. You want to take the next, you want to move up the next level in trading, you need to try the scanner out. I know there's a ton of people that say, well, I can do this without it. Now, how's that been working out for you so far? That's what I'm going to leave you with. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Take care. Thank you. And I'm going to head back over to the Hit Run Candlesticks trading room. Good day.